So I know I'm a bit too late for this, but I really want to talk about this after recently seeing the new Steam Game Awards where Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 still got no awards, which made me want to revisit the topic of how Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was robbed. And I'm not saying that Expedition 33 did not deserve to win Game of the Year. My main issue is with the Best RPG award and the other awards that I will also dive into later in the video. Like for example, I noticed it did not get nominated for Best Action/Adventure, despite it being a game where you're basically on an adventure and there's action in the game. Now, I am sure that most people who saw the Game Awards would agree that Expedition 33 should not have won Best RPG, and it should have gone to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, especially if you have played both. But let's just dive into the video. So before we go further into this discussion, we should know what an RPG is. An RPG stands for role-playing game, which may sound very vague, especially nowadays, when you see games that always have an RPG title, no matter what it is. But to keep it simple, in this genre, the player should have decisions that can alter the story, or most of the time, just the ending. Some people would say that's not an RPG if decisions that matter are are not linear, only happen during the ending of the game. Now, opinions vary, but in my opinion, that's just a weak RPG. Another element or mechanic of an RPG is how skill allocation affects outcomes of speeches or any other actions. Now, some games may have some of what I said and may not, and they still qualify as an RPG, like Skyrim, not having skill allocation that can affect outcomes. So let's just assume, by following the broad definition of an RPG, that Expedition 33 is an RPG. You assume the role of characters in a fictional world, and although there is very little decision making and limited character progression, you do get to make a decision at the end. So now we assume that both games qualify as an RPG for the sake of argument. Now, is E33 a better game than KCD 2? Most would say yes, but is it a better RPG than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Most would say no. Now let's elaborate. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a story-driven RPG set in a rich open world in 15th century Bohemia, where you play as the son of a blacksmith named Henry. Now, from the very start, you will be amazed by how realistic and immersive this game is, whether it be like because of the way the NPCs dynamically react to you based on your clothing, smell, or how clean your clothes are too. Now, past choices or actions you do affect your gameplay. Decisions have a heavy weight and impact on your gameplay. And how you choose to deal with quests also has a lasting effect. Quests in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 also branch, and small quests can lead to something huge and unexpected. Something that may seem minor may become very vital and important later on in the game, and something that's very unexpected too. Things like you could never have imagined happening will happen, and you'll always be surprised by the outcome. Now, KCD 2 is one of the very few games that can be called a true RPG. It just has so much freedom for the player. You can make your Henry be a smart guy that can gaslight guards no matter what the situation is based on your skills and reputation. Or you can scare them by your appearance and strength. You can choose any build you want for combat, whether it's a mace, a longsword, or also an axe. Now, you can brew potions and medicine instead of buying them, and you can become a hunter, gatherer to make money instead of working in the forge. And don't get me started with the blacksmith mechanics. These were not present in the first game and were a great addition, which further added into the immersion and roleplay due to the main character being the son of a master blacksmith who had forged swords for the nobility. In the first game, you were also given an abandoned village that was used by bandits to raid and pillage the land. You were given the objective to fix it up and manage it as its bailiff, where you had to fix the abandoned church and make it profitable and have at least a minimum amount of income coming so you can give it to your lord. Now, also, this was improved and carried on to the second game in the form of the Legacy of the Forge DLC, where you were given your father's old forge, which he worked on with another friend when he lived in Gutenberg, and that was before your time, and you were given the ability to customize that forge to your liking. You can choose what to improve, what to build, and all this relied on your prestige, which you can improve in tournaments or by making swords for customers or other guild members, and also helping them out with problems with supply and stuff like that. Now, all of this adds to roleplay and immersion. Now, let's compare what I listed with Expedition 33, and bear in mind, what I described is just surface level. There are more mechanics that are intertwined and elements related to the RPG genre that I could mention in detail, but it would take way too much time and it would bore you, honestly. Now, I have not played Expedition 33, yet it is an amazing game that caught my eye with those beautiful levels, and no, the turn-based combat is not turning me off. So I do not hate the game, in case any of you are getting this feeling. However, most of the people who have played the game did have this to say, and I'm quoting from the Expedition 33 subreddit, take that as you will. To me, the RPG system feels shallow. Character progression is extremely linear, and there's very little freedom to customize your team, outside of the few cosmetic or minor choices. Everyone ends up with more or less of the same builds. Now, there's more if you want to read the post. It's very long and goes into detail, and it does not mention Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, by the way. And here is another take from a fan of the game that admits that they were shocked that Expedition 33 won Best RPG, despite not even going towards that direction. It has very few RPG elements, and those elements are shared with other genres. They don't have different branching dialogue trees, it doesn't have character customization, outside of loadouts, pictos, costumes that do nothing. There are no decisions to be made outside of the final cutscene, the game is on rails, with very few side missions. Exploration is dull, some map markers being only a room with a music track. There was a narrative This was a narrative-driven based action game. Don't get me wrong, I loved E33, but it taking home RPG was silly. I didn't even play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but I think it was more deserving. You know, it's crazy if the fans of the game who have played it and loved it say that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was more deserving, despite not even playing it yet. Even mainstream YouTubers who played both were shocked that it took RPG, because it wasn't even going to that direction, and if it was going to that direction, what it had was very bare bones compared to other games that were nominated. Now, another X post that I saw was I played both games, but I can't even remember the main character's name in Expedition 33. On the other hand, I can remember the entire story of KCD 2, which I played 10 months ago. KCD 2 should win Game of the Year and Best RPG. We can argue about Game of the Year, but for the Best RPG, the only choice is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So, to summarize, KCD2 has more in-depth and interconnected RPG mechanics and elements compared to E33, if you can count it as an RPG, but even if it's an RPG for argument's sake, which of the both is considered a stronger and truer RPG experience? If you're still convinced it's E33, then there's just no helping you at this point. This means you're ignorant to the fact that KCD2 is a superior RPG experience, and yes, RPG. I'm not saying it should have won Game of the Year. I mean, I would have been very happy if it did, but I knew it would be a stretch. Now, this last section of the video is more or less my hot takes on the other categories, and they are mainly my opinions, so yeah, let's get into it. Firstly, how the heck did no one from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 get nominated for Best Performance? Luke Dale, who played Hans Capon, at least deserved a nomination for Best Performance. Having 3 people from the same game get nominated was just too much for me. They are all amazing, I'm not downplaying that. There should be a rule for this very situation. I swear the Game Awards unintentionally made people hate E33 due to the amount of nominations. Oh, and also no nomination for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 score was also criminal. The score would legit give you goosebumps because of how good it was. Now, for some reason, I feel like the people who were reviewing the game and deciding who should win what and not get nominated for what did not play the game, or more or less just skim the surface of the game. Like, do you remember the whole Eurogame situation? If not, I highly recommend you see the review they made. It tells you everything wrong about modern day game reviewers. Now, the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I truly do love the game. It's one of the first games where I got the premium version for immediately after its release, and it's one of the first next-gen games I played on my new PC. I had played the first one on my PS4 a year prior to the second one, and I finished it twice with all the DLCs, so yeah, I was disappointed when it won nothing. All in all, hopefully the next game Warhorse Studios decides to make will win something, because they are genuinely one of the last good studios to make games that actually prioritize the gamer and not just prioritize profits and the shareholders' happiness. So yeah, this was my video ranting basically about why Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 deserved to win Best RPG and possibly other awards that they were nominated for and not nominated for also. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please leave a like and comment and subscribe. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next one.